Dash for Cash began last week at the Armory Digital Super Speedway, and 10 drivers advanced on. 9 of them are in this race here today, and those 9 are going to be battling for the final 4 spots going into next week's race at Hillside for the $25 grand prize. But this is the middle race. We're here at a new fictional racetrack, the first ever race run on the channel here at the Oregon International Speedway, a fictional track spearheaded by Brandon Wilmington, created by Trey Wright in Sandbox. You know he knows what he's doing. It's the old Atlanta race skin in Portland, Oregon. It's not the Portland International Raceway, but a 1.522 mile oval. It's going to act a little bit like a super speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun here. See who makes it on in the Dash for Cash and see who gets this win in the 15th race of the season in the Herr Sprint Series. This is the Oregon 250 here for Sprint Series Night in America. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Oregon International Speedway. We are excited for this one. We've been excited for this one for a while. Ever since Brendan made this track, I've been like, I want to do a race here. I want to do a race here for him. This is a track that's kind of like specific to this little part of the community, and it's great to have it featured on the channel here today. The Body Armor Pro Series is going to be here later on in September, but hey, we begin with the Herr Sprint Series here, and it's going to be a great one here on this Tuesday night. And you know what? It's going to get interesting with this Dash for Cash because we got 9 of the 10 drivers who advanced on from last week in this race here today. Michael Lewis unfortunately failed to make it, so we've got ourselves Corey Case, Brandon Nelson, Dylan Matthews, Juan Romero, Duncan Ward, Aaron Abel, Herr Alonso, Vinny Schultz, and Baltazar Steep, who won the last race at Armory Digital, who are in contention for those final 4 spots going in the Hillside next Wednesday night. Going to be fun to see who gets it out of those 9 here, but it's also going to be fun to see this race at a new racetrack and join alongside Andrew Miller for the call of this one once again. A little different than what we called last night for the Dirt Extreme race. This is, I like the way you described it. It's basically old Atlanta. The race is kind of like new Atlanta, and I mean old Atlanta when before they reconfigured it. And you know, these guys, they stay in a pack for a lot of this race here, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out for these guys. How do you anticipate this race playing out for 42 laps and no pit stops for these guys?
I'm gonna probably take a guess and say that track position is actually probably gonna be a little more critical than you would think. I mean, with it running kind of similar to the current version of Atlanta, you might think that there's gonna be a little more of a super speedway element to it. But I don't know how much of the case that's really going to be. It's really going to be dependent on where the most grip is. If it's toward the inside, then yeah, you might be able to expect some more movement through the field. If it's more toward the outside, that's going to make it very difficult to try to make things happen, just based on the natural line that you would take on an oval like this. So, if these guys can find where that grip is, and whoever's able to do it first, I think is going to be in a very good position to try and make something happen, then make a good result out of tonight.
Going to be fun to see who ends up having the best car as well. I feel like that might end up being a big case, and sure, there are equal ratings in the series. However, there's a range in those ratings, and whoever has the best range and the best numbers in that range that get randomized in NR2003, they're going to have the advantage, I feel like, here today. So the best car is going to run up front, and hey, I really don't know what to expect in terms of cautions or anything like that. It's a bit of an unknown for us. You know, we've seen some of these races over in Brennan's series that he does, and you know what? We're gonna put it to the test here for the Sprint Series, and hey, maybe in the future, maybe a Wall Cup Series race, maybe. I'm not saying we're moving the fictional tracks in the Cup Series anytime soon, but you know, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. Here's how they line up in the points, and you know what? You got the Dash for Cash going on, but you also got the Points Championship, and Alex Monroe, not part of the Dash for Cash, but he's in this race along with Vinny Schultz. He's got 13 points on her. And those are 2 guys who have signed up each and every single race so far. Not full-timers, but they are the class of the field so far in the Sprint Series. Juan Romero, of course, the highest of the full-timers. He's 24 points behind. Brandon Nelson's had a great season as well, 29 behind. And then Chris Reynolds, I think the biggest dark horse of this season. He's 40 points behind, but he's sitting pretty right there in that 5th position in points. 20 points ahead of the next guy, and then you got a 3-way tie there with Labarito, Faden, and Steep for the 6th position. Then Skylar Taylor and Zayden Davison, who is back in this race, by the way. The last time Zayden was in the car, he won at Dover 2 weeks ago, and he is back behind the wheel in that number 13. But it's Corey Case, and Once again, we had a bit of a, I don't know what happened with Caleb on the signups last week, but we put Joey Brown in 2 rides, and Corey Case had a comment, and so he got the last ride, which was the 25, and you know what? Jackson Smith didn't return yet the fastest lap last week, so Corey Case gets the pole, and he's part of the Dash for Cash as well, so watch out for the 25 here, and Corey Case, alongside Christian Master in the 56 machine. Brandon Nelson also part of the Dash for Cash, along with Dylan Matthews in the 39. They're in row number 2. They got Santiago Labrito and Juan Romero in row number 3. Joey Brown in the 80, as usual, alongside the 4 of Eric Monaco this week. Nathan Faden and the 53 machine there of Duncan Ward. Of course, Duncan is also part of that Dash for Cash. We got the 64 there. That is, once again, Aaron Abel back in that ride, alongside the 52 of Chris Reynolds. 55 of Skylar Taylor to the inside of Alexander Rowe in the 96 this week. The 50 machine is Herr Larvin Alonso alongside Anthony McClure. And you got the 93 there of Vinny Schultz to the inside of Baltazar Steep. And then 6 new drivers in this race who did not run last week. The 69 machine is Carson Miller. First career start for Carson Miller. 99 of Matt Hunter. Got the 02 machine there of Richard Kingart. The 13 of Zayden Davidson. And then the 90 of Joshua Brown in that ride. Alongside the 57 of Josh Petty. Josh Petty's first Sprint Series start. He's been running in the Elimination Series so far this year. Got the first win of the season at Daytona not too long ago. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Oregon International Speedway. Corey Case is going to lead us off alongside Christian Master. Of course, we got some veterans in this field, and we got those 9 guys going for this final 4 spots. And hey, the Dash for Cash up for grabs here. You don't want to lose your chance at winning that $25 grand prize next week. Hey, you've won a prize before on the channel. You know what that's like. Who do you think's going to get the race victory, and who do you think's going to be able to advance on of those 9 guys I mentioned?
Oh boy. Well, first off, I think that there is actually a good chance that Juan Romero might be able to do it yet again in another great starting position up there in P6. Yeah, fancy that. But man, the Dash for Cash. Honestly, I completely lost track of who was in that.
You got the list. I gave you the list there. So 9 guys I gave you.
Oh, right. So, oh man, you got to put some money on Alonso. Romero's got a great chance, and we'll put it out to Nelson and Abel. I would say the guys that probably had the most experience.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Corey Case does from the pole, though. Let's see. I mean, Corey's a great driver. He does only have the 1 win so far at Daytona, but he's 12th in points right now with 11 starts on the season. He's had a great year, and this is a guy, you know, he gets an opportunity getting a cup ride next year could definitely be worth something. All right, here we go. Thank you, Brendan, for this racetrack, and Trey Wright. We're going to have some fun here at the Oregon International Speedway. How about the 25 of Corey Case getting a lap led and starting to pull away just a little bit here from this field. Santiago Labarito, Brandon Nelson kind of forming the lines behind him there, and you got Joey Brown and Christian Master, but that 25, definitely a good jump there for Corey Case trying to get an advancement in this Dash for Cash, but you mentioned that outside lane. You know, we did a little testing here, not that much. We're kind of going into this blind. That outside lane definitely has a bit of a pull there, and Brandon Nelson trying to get these guys to work to his advantage. Get this race win, possibly. Of course, he got the win in Martinsville about a month ago, and trying to find his way up to that 25 machine, but kind of even up front as they go side by side. That's slowing him down. We got some 3 wide back in here. They got to be careful with Alonso in the middle of all that with Vinny Schultz in the 93 machine. Those are 2 guys going for that Dash for Cash right now. Same with Aaron Abel just ahead of him. Duncan Ward in the middle of all that. That was kind of tight right there through the middle of the corner, and Duncan Ward now still stuck in the middle lane.
Yeah, that's a little bit of testing that we did. I don't recall seeing any cautions. So I don't know what to expect in that regard, if that is going to be a possibility. As look at that power move on the inside by the 92 Yeah, we were thinking maybe the outside might actually be the place to be when you're side by side, but the 92, man, did he make that work with ease? Was able to breeze by that 25. So now he's going to try to reel him back in, and the top two now clear by a few car lengths.
Oh, and they're going to cross back over. Corey Case going to try to make a move on Brandon Nelson right there, and he's going to make that look easy. You know, I think tire wear is also going to play a huge factor in this race, and right now's the time to get that inside lane to work when the tires are fresh, and the longer we go into the run. And this is a race without pit stops as well. The only oval race that will have pit stops is going to be Charlotte 2 weeks from now, so that race could definitely get interesting. But you know, we're not doing any pit stops for these guys here in this race, so it is 250 miles, shortened to 25%, of course, on one tank of fuel and one set of tires, which this is longer than a normal run in the Wawa Cup Series as well, so that could get really, really interesting for these guys as this race moves along. Nelson was able to lead a lap right there. That's a bonus point towards the championship, which is huge for Nelson, fourth in the standings, but I know he wants to get this win. But he is in a position to advance in the Dash for Cash along with Corey Case, and he also got Dylan Matthews and Juan Romero. Those are the four guys who started ahead of everybody else, and those positions were determined by the fastest lap last week at Armory Digital, which, hey, that's a big wild card track in that regard. There's Balthazar Steep, who won last week, but he's a little ways behind right now, trying to move his way through the field. And a little bit of a gap right here between the last four guys. Richard Kingard in the 02, 57 machine there. Josh Petty, Zayden Davidson, and the 90 of Joshua Brown. They all started in the back, and they're all a little ways off the pack right now as well. So very interesting to see that as Santiago Labarito getting a push from Christian Master in the outside lane. And, you know, this is the closest thing that I've seen on the channel to a modern-day Atlanta. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now here at Oregon.
I'd say so, too. So now it's just going to be a matter of how much are they going to be willing to work together, and how much are they going to be wanting to just make some moves? Is the 5 going to be content to stay behind the 25 at the moment? Labarito is someone else that I think could definitely get it done here. Trying to join a multi-time winners club, which right now is only occupied by one single driver this season, and that, of course, being the 87. As, yeah, you see them lifting. The tire wear maybe already starting to come in just a smidge. You saw the flames coming out of the headers there, so that could be playing into it a little bit as well, as you said. So it could help out the 25 as long as he saves the stuff accordingly.
We'll have to see how it ends up shaking out for him, but that 25 of Corey Case started on the pole. He looks dominant right now in that 25, and yeah, we're definitely starting to see the tire wear come into effect. These guys splitting up a little bit back in here, which could get interesting in terms of the Dash for Cash, because he also have that 53 of Duncan Ward and the 93 of Vinny Scholes, trying to get around Romero and Dylan Matthews ahead of him right there, because those are the positions, and Alonso in the middle of all that, Aaron Abel as well, and Balthazar Steve. You know, all 9 of these guys are right up here in this lead pack, of course, and pretty close to each other for those last few positions. How about Christian Master? Trying to get a run here on the inside lane. He's got Joey Brown behind him. And Christian Master, definitely an experienced veteran on the channel, trying to get his first win of the season. It has not been a good year for Christian Master here in the Sprint Series. 13th in points coming into this race. You know, guys like Corey Case, who's ahead of him, who haven't made every start this season, ahead of him in points. So we'll have to see if he can find some way around him and maybe get this race win. But right now, how about Joey Brown in the 80, who has not gotten off to a good start in his 10 starts so far. Of all the guys who have made double-digit starts this season, he's lowest in points, down at 24th in the standings. Oh, look at that. Corey Case found some grip up there in that 25 machine as Joey Brown and Christian Master went side by side. Master going to get a run on the outside lane right there, but he's got no help behind him.
Yeah, that's not going to help the 56, but what was interesting about what the 25 did right there is that he went way higher than we've seen anybody else running at all so far. He actually went above the darkest patch here, the groove there. He went above that, and he charged ahead like it was nothing. So I wonder if maybe that groove is just a little bit greasy, and maybe that's what's going on there. He found that grip lane, and now he could use that to his advantage if anyone does try to get underneath him.
You know that, Brennan? This racetrack has a greasy groove.
I'm trying to sound smart. That's all it is.
How about Dylan Matthews on this outside lane? She's going up. Oh, she's going for third right now. That outside lane absolutely has some grip right there. Will these guys utilize it to their advantage? That last spot in the Dash for Cash changing hands. You got Brandon Nelson slipping back and Duncan Ward trying to get an advantage on the outside of him to keep his hopes alive. Oh, they checked up there. And how about this 80 of Joey Brown trying to close in on Corey Case, trying to make a move on the 25. Unable to get around him at the moment. Corey Case has led all but one lap in this race so far. Brandon Nelson was the other race leader. And Duncan Ward, with no help on that outside lane, trying to hold tough with Brandon Nelson there. So we'll have to see what he can do. And Alonso trying to also get close enough to that 92 as well. Vinny Scholes and Aaron Abel both start Steve. They're just all right here. They're all going to be in contention as this race moves along. Not quite halfway through this one yet, though. And you know what? There definitely seem to be some stronger cars out here than others. And that number 80 of Joey Brown right now seems to be one of the strongest out here. He's going to try to work that outside lane to get around this 25. Of course, he's got to get around the 56 as well. It's going to be tough to make a pass here, the way these guys are racing right now. All 24 drivers still on the racetrack and on the lead lap within 2.5 seconds of each other. But they're kind of deadlocked throughout the field. It's like a real-life Cup Series race right now.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way as 56 is going to get clear. Going on it there as they kind of spread out up at the very front. I'm not going to lie, this actually looks like this would be a good track for an online race. It's kind of the way that you can't go flat out, but you can keep it pretty close together. I don't know. That's honestly good online race territory there. So I don't know. Maybe Brandon was onto something.
Maybe he was. And Trey Wright as well. You know, I don't know how much they affected the INI. It's a reskinned old Atlanta, so it wasn't built from the ground up in that regard. But I'm not sure which track Trey used to reskin it. Either way, yeah, a very unique race that's going on right here. No doubt about it. So Corey Case, Juan Romero, Dylan Matthews, Brandon Nelson, still the top four in the Dash for Cash. And a lot of those guys, like Alonso, like Vinny Scholes, Bolso, Steve Duncan Ward, they're all on each other right here. And Abel slipping back in the 64. Still kind of stuck midway through this pack, trying to close in on these guys for those last positions in that Dash for Cash. But right now looking good for those guys in terms of keeping their eligibility going into next week for that finale of the Dash for Cash. You got Joey Brown on the inside of Christian Master. They keep on battling for second, which is also good for Corey Case in this 25 machine. You got Juan Romero, though, here in this 87, trying to push this 80 machine. And you know, if there's anyone that could get around Corey Case in this race, it's Juan Romero, three-time winner this season, looking for his fourth win of the year. His last win came at South Boston a while ago. He got the wins at Las Vegas and also won... What was the other race that he won? I can't remember. He won Las Vegas, he won South Boston, and the other race that he got was... I'm blanking on this one, man. I'm sorry. Do you remember? Were you in the booth for that middle win that he had? You were in the booth for South Boston. Hold on a second. I'm drawing the blank right here. Let me figure this out. Joey Brown wants to figure something out. Trying to get around Corey Case there for that race lead.
Getting pretty close there. 92 starting to work his way back forward again. But as you said, I mean, I don't know if, and sorry to kind of throw this in there, I don't know if modern day dirty air is starting to affect those guys behind the 25. I had to throw that out there, I'm sorry. But
that's what it feels like, doesn't it?
I mean, the 80's right there with him, and we saw the 92 make the pass earlier.
It was Bristol. That was the other win for him.
Aha. And yeah, now he's running third. So I don't know. I think that the 80's probably going to need a push and maybe back up the corner a little bit and then try to find wherever the grip is, which definitely the grip is going away. We see how much they're spreading out. Coming to 20 to go. So we're just a little bit past halfway here, which is actually probably one of the longer races for the series.
It is definitely one of the longer races, which may play in the Joey Brown's favor. Normally on these mile-and-a-half, it's about a 25-lap race, and here we got 42 tonight, so definitely more time for these guys to make that move, which is definitely an appreciative thing for Joey Brown. He's going to have more time to get around this 25, but it's hard to get that inside lane to work when you're going side by side. There's just no grip there, and you really have to have a whole train of cars to really be able to get it to work. But you're definitely seeing these guys check up in different places. The tire work coming into effect here. Juan Romero going for second there on Joey Brown. Let's see if he can make this stick on this 80 machine. But with these guys spreading out, they don't really have the drafting help, really. They close in and they spread out. It's kind of a bit of an accordion going on right here. We'll see if Romero can, in fact, get that position on the 80 machine. How about this for Corey Case, though? Got the win at Daytona. I think that was his first start of the season, and has made pretty much every race up to this point, except for maybe one, I think, that he missed since that Daytona win. And he's had a really good season. Most of those starts have been with Andrews Racing. He's with for Cohen here this weekend, and you know what? I say weekend, it's a Tuesday night. But this week, I should say. And you know what? It's working out pretty well for him because he has been the dominant guy so far in this race. He's led all but one lap, but oh boy, here we go. Juan Romero's got a huge run coming off the corner right here. And if he can make the move going down the front stretch here into the corner, he might have a shot. He's staying right behind him, though. I'm not sure if that's going to work out too well for Romero in the long term. We'll have to see, though. Joey Brown trying to get that push as well. Meanwhile, Dylan Matthews slipping back a little bit right there, but she's still in that fourth position for the Dash for Cash right now. It's Alonso and Duncan Ward who are trying to close in on that 39 and get the position for that last transfer.
I think what happened with the 87 there, when he got the run that he did, was, oops, speaking of runs, there we go, maybe. But I think he actually got too soon, and he couldn't quite get to the inside soon enough, and he had to check up. Oh, well. No, he almost
try.
All right, that's one way to do it.
Oh, and if Joey Brown sticks with Romero here down the backstretch, it might be an opportunity for Romero to make it work. We'll have to see. He's got a nose to the inside, and here we go. Juan Romero to the inside of Corey Case for the race lead, trying to get that momentum on the inside lane. I think he's going to lead this lap, and he will. So, hey, it's possible. It is definitely possible. All you got to do is beat him at the line. And Juan Romero, how about Romero going for his fourth win of the season, trying to clear Corey Case, and look at the gap they put on third place right there. Joey Brown was right behind him, and now they're still side-by-side for the race lead here on lap 28. This is definitely a multi-groove racetrack. And Corey Case is definitely utilizing that outside lane to his advantage. They're still side-by-side. And Juan Romero going to try to lead this one. Oh my goodness, that was close. That was really close right there.
Man, they found something now. Romero on the inside, 25. They are dead freaking even. Although, I don't know. Case. Oh, there he goes. He got clear. Yep, I was going to say that momentum, I think, was going to eventually come through. But you saw it. If you time it right, it can be done.
Of course, he wasn't able to clear him, but that's not what you need to win the race. You just got to beat him at the line. So we'll have to see how that ends up shaking out later on. This could get interesting back in here. Dylan Matthews, she's been able to hold on to this 7th position, but these guys get in the line and form a train right around her. Duncan Ward is in the position right now to get that last Dash for Cash spot, but it's been tough working through the field here in this race. And you know, for Both Star Steve, he won that race at Armory Digital, but had the slowest, fastest lap of the race, and that really hurt him because he started deep in the field and he's been crawling through this field, but he doesn't have much time left in this one, as Joey Brown's going to take second away from Juan Romero, and he's actually going to clear, or will he clear that 87? And he will. Corey Case going to kind of pull him in right there. So that 80 machine looking really strong, looking for his first career win on the channel. It could very well happen here tonight for Joey Brown and NS Racing. NS Racing hasn't had the best of seasons, especially in the Cup Series. You know very much well about that, Andrew. Sorry about that for you guys over there, but you know, they did get that one with Brandon Nelson in Martinsville. Nelson's had a great season so far, but Joey Brown, who's been in his 80 majority of the season, has not had the best of runs this season.
It's on a great run here, no matter what. And I'm starting to also wonder if maybe tire heat is actually what might be playing into this. We saw the 80 really fall back. Really fall back there for a little bit. I wondered if the tire got too hot down to try to cool him back down, and now he's getting back up there. So now he's got to be careful to not heat them up again. That's easier said than done at this point in the run. But I know that even if the tire isn't as worn, if it gets hot, then it's really, really going to cause a problem, going to cause the car to push. And I mean, I'm saying all this as an online driver, as if these guys are also online drivers.
There is similar. I mean, obviously, it's the same. It's the same INI that you guys use, same track. You know, similar setups in some regard. I don't know. I don't know anything about online. I know a little bit.
That's where you and I differ.
Yeah, that's the big difference. But that's a very good point. You know, that tire heat is still a thing, you know, in the game. So that may be what we're seeing right here. It's a bright sunny day, so that sun's beating down, and that might be a bit of the issue for some of these guys here at Oregon. Speaking of issues, will Brandon Nelson lose that last spot there to the 53? Or to Alonso, or to Baltazar here, because Baltazar's also kind of moving his way. He's like the one guy that's actually been moving his way through the field. Tough break for Vinny Scholes. I know Brendan would have loved to see Vinny win this race, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen at this point. The way this race is played out. So now you got 4 cars in a line right here. How about Eric Monaco up to 5th? This is the first time we've mentioned Monaco all race long. Here he is in the 5th position. The thing is, these guys, they can't keep going side by side like this and expect to really get it to work, I don't think. But then again, too, that 25 can't get too far out ahead before these guys close back in. So we'll have to see how Joey Brown manages this. Christian Masters right here, Eric Monaco as well. These are 3 guys who have nothing. I mean, so for Master and Monaco, especially for Master, they're trying to get up in the points a little bit more. Same with Joey Brown, but still, they want to get this win, but Corey Case has just been a class of his own here. He's led all but 3 laps in this race so far. He's got the most laps led, looking for a 2nd win of the season. Christian Masters here in the 56, trying to take 2nd away from Joey Brown. And I think if we're going to have a different winner than Corey Case, it's going to be what we saw earlier on with these guys. Just nick them at the line. We saw that with Juan Romero. We may see it with somebody else here in this one. By the way, Brandon Nelson is side by side with Duncan Ward right now. And he also got Baltazar Steep right behind, and Alonso not too far off either. Nelson losing that last transfer spot in the Dash for Cash right here, as both Duncan Ward and Baltazar Steep go to the inside of him.
That's not what they want to see, as we are getting down to the end of it here. And, yeah, they're going to have to try to regroup, kind of like these guys trying to regroup. There's that run for the 56. Can he get to the inside, or is he going to get it too early, just like Romero initially did? Looks like that's exactly what happened. But now can he try to set him up just like Romero did?
How about Baltazar Steep here on Duncan Ward? Ward had it for a lap, and Baltazar going to take it back away. Brandon Nelson and Alonso all in a line right there as well, trying to keep their eligibility going in the hillside for the Dash for Cash prize. And Baltazar Steep's going to take it away, and that is a great drive by this 88 machine. Andersys Motor Racing. How about this team? They've definitely done a great job. Eric Monaco now. You remember another similarly shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack back in February? Eric Monaco made a last lap pass on Alexander Rowe. I have a feeling if Monaco could get around Master here, he could have a shot at Corey Case for this one. Going to be interesting. No one's going to pass Corey Case outright, but they could beat him at the line. That's very possible. Dylan Matthews, Guadagnino still in that Dash for Cash. Same with Corey Case right now. It's 2 laps to go here at Oregon. Baltazar Steep and Brandon Nelson battling for that last transfer spot. And you got 4 guys all in the line. Alonso trying to close in on Duncan Ward and Brandon Nelson right here. And Duncan Ward's going to pull back just a little bit right there. And here we go for the race lead. Master and the 4 of Eric Monaco. They're side by side right behind the 25 of Corey Case. And they're closing in. And Monaco's got a run here with help from Dylan Matthews. And you know what? Monaco's going to push to the inside. White flag in the air here at Oregon. If he keeps the nose, he might have a shot.
But is
look at that. Look at that run from Eric Monaco. He's got it. He's cleared Corey Case. Now the big question is, will Corey Case get another one back on Eric Monaco? One more corner to go here at Oregon. Eric Monaco trying to become only the 2nd driver this season to win multiple races. He's going to do it on a last lap pass once again. Eric Monaco wins the Oregon 250 here in the Herr Sprint Series. It's Corey Case, Dylan Matthews, Guadagnino, and Baltazar Steep going for the Dash for Cash prize at Hillside next Wednesday night.
Where did he come from? I hardly talked about him until the last 10 laps.
How about that for Eric Monaco? And Igor Barreto gets another owner's win here. How about that? His 2nd win of the season. Of course, his first was Homestead, the 2nd race of the season back in February. And how about these 1.5 oval-shaped racetracks for him? He's doing pretty good on these types of racetracks. The sad thing is, this is the last 1.5 shaped like this. That's a shame for Corey Case. That's a shame for Corey Case. You dominate like that, and that's the result you get. I mean, he's still going to be in the Dash for Cash, of course, and we'll have to see how he does there. Of course, he does have to sign up as well. The other three, Dylan Matthews, Juan Romero, Baltzar Steve, they don't have to worry. Corey Case does have to sign up for it next week, so if he misses out, we'll only have 3 drivers going for it, so keep that in mind. 69, that was Carson Miller, who had the fastest lap of the race. And then Chris Reynolds. Baltzar Steep with a 3rd place, so he's going to be the highest qualifier of the Dash for Cash people at Hillside. And then the 64 there, Aaron Abel, and the 53 of Duncan Ward there, who have pretty solid times in this one. Take a look at the rest of the fastest laps right there for everyone's reference in terms of the starting lineup at Hillside next week. That was interesting. That was fun. I didn't think we were going to see one, and especially that close to the end of the race. But hey, Eric Monaco was like, I'm taking it. I'm taking it away. And Monaco's at double-digit wins on the channel. I know that much. Definitely a solid driver right there, getting it done ahead of Corey Case. But what a race here, man. And hey, huge thanks to Brendan Wilmington, Trey Wright, and the original creators of this track, of course, for making this whole thing work out. Great to have a race here, and that I couldn't ask for a better race right there, especially near the end. We got a last lap pass here at Oregon.
I did not think we were going to see it. I honestly thought that Case was going to be running away with it pretty much from the outset. Of course, at one time that the 92 got by him, I was like, oh, man, look at that. But I did not think that would be possible, just based on everything that we were seeing. And not only did he get him, he cleared him rather handily through that corner there, and then was able to just play defense perfectly. So Eric Monaco is one of those drivers that I think is underrated. He's been around the scene for a long, long time, many different places. Yeah, he maybe hasn't had the same level of success as some others, but he's been at the game for a long time. So that's cool to see him manage to get that one. As I said, I mean, we weren't talking about him until the last 10 laps, and yet he's able to steal that one away. That was awesome.
How about that for Eric Monaco? Well, good thing for Corey Case. He's still in the Dash for Cash as long as he signs up. Of course, sign-ups tomorrow. Now, I'm going to say this about sign-ups tomorrow. You're signing up for 2 races, and the big reason why is because of the way the recording schedule is going to have to be for the Indy 250 week coming up. I'm going to have to record the Charlotte Herr Sprint Series race pretty early. So sign-ups tomorrow night at 7:30 for both the Massachusetts 250 at Hillside and the Carolina 300 at Charlotte. And if you're wondering where's the IRP race, that got moved to July. The Winter Showdown will not take place during Indy 250 week. It's going to take place in July. So you're signing up for 2 races this Wednesday night. So this is a big thing. So we're not going to reset it after Hillside going into Charlotte just because I'm not going to be able to keep that momentum going up. This also has to do with the ratings, which as of the time you guys are seeing this probably are already aware. I'm pretty sure that the ratings are probably going to be a double ratings for the Coke 600, just due to the fact that I need to record a bit early because I'm going to Indianapolis at the end of the month and working a full-time job. And, I got so much time to do this. But how about that for Eric Monaco getting the job done here at Oregon? Like I said, Corey Case, Dylan Matthews, Juan Romero, and Baltzar Steep all in the Dash for Cash going into next week. So we'll see which one of those 4 gets it done in terms of the $25 prize. So it's going to be fun to see how that all works out. All right. We'll see you guys on Friday night for the Napa 400 from Auto Club Speedway. We're back there. They used to always be an early season race. Now, midway through the season, the ratings have really built up, obviously, after we saw Kansas. We definitely saw the cream rise to the top in that race, and I think we're going to see it again on Friday night in the Napa 400. It's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern Time, or whenever the truck race ends. It might be a little bit later on. We'll just have to see, but it's going to be a lot of fun there from the Auto Club Speedway for the 14th race of the season there in the Wawa Cup Series. By the way, Eric Monaco, Corey Case, Christian Master, and Dylan Matthews all going to be in that race as they get the 4 hot seat rides. Completely forgot about that. So much going on, so much going on. Well, thank you for joining me, Andrew, for this one. That was a fun race, and we will see you guys next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time the normal time for it for the Hillside race, but there will not be a sign-up video next week because you're signing up for both Hillside and Charlotte this Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Eric Monaco. Here are points for the Herr Sprint Series after 15 races, and I will see you guys later.